All right, so good morning. Today, man, this is something today. I'm excited and I'm just like learning different things for me is exciting. Okay, so today, day 15, I'm talking about gaining understanding, right? And so when I was just writing and processing this, I was like, because it took a while this morning for me to, really hear and sit and listen and to really hear what the Lord is really talking to me about today. So I was sitting here and like, okay, God, this is, he said gaining understanding. So I was like, okay, immediately my mind goes to, looking up the definition of each word, because that's how I process things. So I immediately just started doing that. And as I started looking up the words, it just started flowing. I just started writing. So I have like 2 pages of stuff that I wrote, today. So the first word I looked up was understanding, right? So, but the words are gaining understanding. So I'm going to go to gaining first. So, gaining says to obtain or secure something desired, favorable or profitable, right? Then understanding says the ability to understand something, comprehension. So I looked up understand. Understand says to perceive the intended meaning of. And then comprehension says the action or capability of understanding something. So I was looking at those words and I was saying, okay, so my focus today is to gain understanding. So gaining understanding is comprehending a thing. It's comprehending a thing. So I'm saying it's so many things that I'm trying to gain understanding of. I'm wanting to gain understanding of myself. I want to gain understanding of things that are going on around me. I want to gain understanding of my purpose. I want to gain understanding of what the Lord is doing in my life at this moment, at this day, August the 11th, 2020. I want to gain understanding of today. What am I to be doing? What is my purpose for this day, right? And so I was thinking about conversations, just conversations that we have and how we have most conversations, but we're not thinking about what are we trying to get out of this conversation? Are we just talking just to be talking? Or are we really trying to get an understanding of this conversation, right? So I put in the word listening. I began to think about listening. And then I began to think about hearing and the difference between listening and hearing, because there is a difference, right? And so I looked up listening first. But let me tell you, when you look up the word listening, it's going to take you on a whole nother journey for real, right? So let me take you to hearing first. So with hearing's definition is a faculty of receiving sounds. That's it. Hearing means that I can hear sounds. I can hear things going on. I can hear different sounds. That's what hearing means. Is faculty of receiving sounds. So that means that I can be talking and a sound is coming out of my mouth, that doesn't mean that you're understanding anything that I say. It could just be the frequency of my voice that you hear. You don't necessarily have to be listening to me. Man, when I tell you this just blew my mind, it just blew my mind. So listening, okay, let me stop because I'm getting ahead of myself. Okay, so listening says paying attention not only to what is said, but how it's said, the use of the language and voice, and body language as well. So it's being aware of verbal and nonverbal messages. That's listening, right? Hearing is a faculty of receiving sound, but listening is an action. That's something you have to work to do. You have to work to listen. You don't have to do any hearing. You just can hear a sound. I can hear that something's coming out of your mouth, but I don't have to listen to it. That just blew my mind, right? Okay, so listening to understand means hearing what is being said to you and getting a clear understanding of what is being conveyed. That's what I wrote down before I even started doing the work of finding out what I'm talking about, right? So in conversation, the most important thing to achieve is an understanding. What are we really talking about? What message is being told? Now, remember, I wrote this before I looked up anything. And then, whether I agree or not, can we come to an understanding of how each of us feel? That's what I wrote down. So then I went back to, after I looked up listening and hearing, I kept on going with listening because it was so much. And then I looked and it had 4 types of listening. Okay, so the 4 types of listening are appreciative listening, emphatic listening, comprehensive listening, critical listening. And so now, I got to go and I got to dig deep into this. I got to dig deep into the different types of listening, the appreciative, the emphatic, comprehensive, and the critical. And I was just looking at it like, wow, God, this is when I tell you this is just, it just blew my mind. Because after that, I kept on looking and I found that there are 5, not only are there 4 types of listening, there are 5 stages of listening. So that means that while I'm listening, I go into different stages of that process of having a conversation. So you think about like when most conversations you have, you leave the conversation and you're so drained or you're just done with. You're like, that just took a lot out of me because of the stages of listening and having the conversation. So the 5 stages of listening are receiving, understanding, remembering, evaluating, and responding. So you're actually putting in work to have a conversation. It's like a full-time job because you're going for the different types of things that you're doing to the different stages of it. And this could be in a matter of minutes. In a matter of minutes, your whole mood can change. Just everything about your day can change from a conversation. And so you think about it, how he just says, guard your ears, guard your ear gates, guard your eye gates, guard the gates. You're like, it makes sense. You think about it like, wow, man, God he's so brilliant. He's just, let me tell you something. I am a thinker. I am analytical. I am whatever you want to call it. I'm that is it. And I think about this and it's like, wow, man, God is good. That's what I can say. He is just awesome, and how he teaches us and how he helps us to gain understanding of things. Man. But this was the thing that really had me to just drop the mic, I should say. Listening takes consciousness. Hearing doesn't take anything. You can hear a sound. But my mind, I don't have to be present with you to hear you. I don't have to be present with you. But if I'm listening to you, that means I'm here, I'm present, I'm in the moment. I'm listening to you. You ever been around somebody and you're talking to them and they still typing on the keyboard or they're still doing stuff on their phone? One of my pet peeves, actually. But it happens. They're not present with you. They're not listening to you. And even though they can say, well, I can multitask. No, you're not present with me. You're not listening. You can hear me. You can hear a sound coming out my voice, and there may be some trigger words here and there that you may catch here and again. Or you may notice the fluctuation of my voice to say that I'm getting annoyed with you. And that causes you to say, oh, you know what I mean? To look at me, that type of thing. But you're not present with me. You're not conscious to what I'm saying. There's no consciousness there. So you're really not listening, because listening takes consciousness. It takes concentration so that your brain can process meanings from words and sentences. That's what listening is. So when you're gaining an understanding, you have to be present in the conversation. You have to be present in the moment. You have to be able to gain that understanding of what's being said. You have to be conscious in the moment. You have to concentrate so that your brain can process meanings, body languages, those verbal and those nonverbal messages, because I can look at you and say all day, oh, I'm fine. But my face, my body language, everything is saying that there's something wrong. Yeah. You know what I mean? So it's like it just blew my mind when I tell you this is how God does. He trains us and he teaches us. And like I said before, I just feel like I'm in the classroom. And so my thing is questions. I have questions. So I'm just asking questions, and just to see this type of stuff, man, just to get an understanding of the mind of God and how he thinks and how he processes and shows us different things that we go day by day and we don't even think about. We just do stuff without thinking about the whys and the hows, or if we're even doing it effectively. Because we talked yesterday about effective communication. So we can't effectively communicate if we don't understand how to do it. We have to gain an understanding of it. There's no purpose in having a conversation if you're not going to gain an understanding of what is being communicated. Right? So today on day 15, I'm just going to continue to practice this, continue to research, continue to get edified, continue to get fed, because this right here is meaty for me. Let me tell you, I'm like a kid in the candy store with this here. So I encourage you to do the work. As what's her name? I was watching her the other day, Iyanla Vanzant. She was like, do the work. I encourage you to do the work and just get an understanding. Gain an understanding of what you read. Gain an understanding of the conversations, of the things that you say, the things that you believe in, or whatever. Get an understanding of it so that you can properly use it, that you can properly apply it to your everyday life. You know what I'm saying? Don't just run around saying, oh, I believe in this, I believe in God, and when you don't have an understanding of who he is. Get an understanding. You believe in yourself. So get an understanding of yourself so that you can build your esteem, build your confidence, build your love, build it all. We're building ourselves. So this is a tool. This is a technique. This is a strategy of gaining an understanding. All right. Have a great day. See you tomorrow. Bye-bye.